There have been talks or reports of talks in recent days with Arsenal and Bayern Munich's Joshua Kimmich, who would be a very versatile option. Obviously, we know he can play right back, centre mid, with equal competence. I know at 30 years old, he wouldn't be young for an Arsenal player, but on a free transfer, he knows how to win things. Would that be a no-brainer signing for you?
Yeah, I don't think it would be as simple as a no-brainer. I think you would definitely have to put some thought into it because, yes, he'd be a free transfer, but the wages would be very, very big. Judging by what he hasn't been able to agree with Bayern Munich, and you look at the numbers that are being sort of banded around there, he wouldn't, it would be an expensive addition despite the fact you're not paying a transfer fee. Obviously, the fact you're not paying a transfer fee, you take that into account, and so you can understand giving slightly higher wages. But he's a very, very good player. I don't. The age doesn't overly bother me. Arsenal are a young team, young squad. They need experience. I think Jorginho's been a fantastic signing. And even though it's coming to the end of his time at Arsenal now, and I expect him to go in the summer, I think he's been a really, really good addition for Arsenal. Really important for the squad. Excellent on the pitch, excellent off the pitch. And so I think Kimmich would be more of the same, and he's probably got more to offer coming here now than Jorginho maybe did when he arrived from Chelsea. So, like you said, he's versatile. Arteta loves that. He's a big moments player as well. Arsenal found that out to their cost last season in the Champions League quarter final when he scored the winner in Munich. Play right back, play midfield. So yeah, look, if Jorginho and Partey are going to go as I think we all expect they probably will do in the summer, then additions are needed. We know Martin Zubimendi is very much on Arsenal's radar at the moment, and they're hoping to get something done with him once the season comes to an end. But they're also going to need to replace Jorginho as well, and Kimmich would be a very, very good addition when it comes to that. I would like to see Arsenal add another attacking midfield option as well. Zubimendi, Kimmich, fantastic experienced players, top level international players. But I think they do need another attacking option in that midfield sort of trio as well to take the burden off Odegaard. Yes, you've got Ranieri, but it would be nice to have another sort of central option, maybe left-sided central option, more attacking one if you need to change things than say a Declan Rice at the moment. Just a different sort of mould.
Yeah, it's interesting timing the Kimmich one, given that Zubimendi is, it's not done yet, but he's looking likely to arrive. I think Florian Plettenberg said that if Kimmich does come, he would be the replacement for Jorginho, and you'd assume Zubimendi would fill the Thomas Partey void. So, could you see, would there be Zubimendi being first choice, Kimmich being second choice, or could you see a battle, every weekend for them to start in that number six role? Because that would be a fascinating battle if it ensues.
Yeah, I mean, it would all work out. I still feel like the most likely option with Kimmich is he ends up signing for Bayern Munich and signing a new contract with Bayern Munich. I mean, if you look at Alphonso Davies, for example, where everyone thought he was going to Real Madrid, it looked like nailed on, but he ends up signing with Bayern Munich. And we've seen this countless times before, especially with Bayern Munich players when they're in contract negotiations. So we'll see what happens on it. But I think should they both say you looked getting your crystal ball and they both do sign, then there will be a battle there. But I think Kimmich can play further up the pitch. I think he can play deeper. I don't think he's just one of the strengths of signing of Joshua Kimmich is he's not just coming in to play as number six. You can play him in different positions across the pitch. So it would be a battle, I'm sure, at times with Zubimendi. It would allow you to rotate, which is crucial. I think we're kind of moving away from I think we're not moving away. We have moved away from the time of having an out-and-out best 11. You've got to rotate. One of Arsenal's big issues this season is they haven't had the squad that's been able to cope with multiple injuries. So, if you lose Partey and Jorginho, you've got to replace them with two, you know, experienced players because you're losing two massively experienced players from your squad. And so, yeah, Zubimendi and Kimmich should be exactly that.
Certainly would. And you've spoken quite recently about Thomas Partey's future. There were conflicting reports, I think over the weekend, that he may have been offered a new contract, but you've said he's looking likely to leave. It's might, him leaving might divide opinion because obviously he had his injuries at first, but he seems to have banished those demons. He's been critical this season, especially, arguably one of Arsenal's best players in that holding role. But then again, you always worry about when is the next injury going to come. And like I say, he's, I think, turning 32 this year. So were you, would you be surprised if he left, or do you think it is time, for him to depart?
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he left. He's one of Arsenal's biggest earners. It's been good to see him stay injury free this season, but as you said with Thomas Partey, the doubt is always there about whether he will maintain that fitness. There's still a couple of months left of the season, so we'll see if he does. But this has been probably his best season in an Arsenal shirt if he sees it from start to finish. Um, he's been very, very consistent and the performances have been good. But as you said, he's coming to the end of his contract. He's 32 years old. If you're going to give him another contract now, you're talking 2, 3 years. It just feels like that's too big a risk on a player who's already, when someone gets past Thomas Partey, he doesn't really get back to them. Those days of him chasing him back are gone. Once he's beaten, he's beaten. So no, I think it makes sense from an Arsenal point of view now, given the size of his contract, for him to go this summer. Um, as you said, yeah, my understanding is that they have not initiated any sort of contract talks with him yet, and that certainly from the player's point of view in his camp, that they're believing that Arsenal probably aren't going to push to keep him. There is lots of interest in him from big European clubs, and he'll be able to get himself a very good move come the end of the season, where you would think they'd be offering him a much bigger, longer contract than if Arsenal even did between now and the end of the season decide to open some sort of talks. It'd be a short-term type thing on a reduced wage. And I imagine elsewhere he'll get much more lucrative and long-term deals. So it just makes sense, I think, for all parties now to move on at the end of the season to refresh the midfield, which is what Arsenal are planning to do.